Hey, welcome everyone. It is John the Net Guy, and you're tuned in to Tech on Tuesday, number 18. Today is a very special show, well, for a variety of reasons. One, we made it 18 shows into the year. That's an accomplishment already. I see a few of you are already joining here. Second, we're going to let Amazon folks in right now, so we don't have any trouble with that, which is exciting. And I have the first show that is entirely sponsored by the vendors. Normally, to do Amazon Live, a lot of us new guys that are starting out, we show things that we've purchased, things that we buy all the time from Amazon. And I finally made it to the point now where brands have actually sent me the products that you're going to see here today. So I'm super excited about that. Hey, Timmy Clark out there. I see Rare Apple. Jeremy, who keeps winning our drawings. Well, guess what? We have another drawing today. So that's exciting. Speaking of that, let's bring out the first product. I'm going to get the Amazon folks in here in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, Amazon shopper. It's John the Net Guy. This is Tech on Tuesday, number 18. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter show today. I'm shooting for like an hour with the drawing, so we'll see how this goes. But the first product up, which I'm going to tap on in the carousel right now, is from the show sponsor today. So Tron D. They were so excited about the show we did a couple weeks ago where I showed you one of their cool wall-mounted splitters with a charger built in that they said, hey, let me send you out another one that's super popular with our audience. I'll show it to you here right now. This is a 4-outlet surge protector with those 3 USB ports, and they said, give this thing away too. So I said, your wish is my command. Now, normally, I've actually made you wait a little while. I'm going to put the giveaway details up, and I'm going to keep them up as long as possible. So if you're wanting to get in on this Tron D giveaway, it is going to be the show giveaway for today. So there's no waiting, and there's not going to have to wait till next week. You're going to know today if you want it. Go ahead and visit that URL down below there, thenetguy.com/Tron D. That's the sign-up form. Not used for any reason other than for the giveaway. You're not getting signed up to a mailing list you don't want to be on or anything like that. So just for me able to run this fair and square, I wanted to do that. If you ever wonder how to find the products that are on every show, if you visit the site that I'm going to pull up down in the corner below here, right behind the giveaway details, if you visit my Amazon shop, it's amazon.com/shop/thenetguy. I wish they could make it easier, but if you do that, you're going to get a page that looks eerily like this. And what's ironic about it is it's live now. This is, I like to say, picture in a picture in a picture. But you can see here, whenever I go live, you'll get notified. You'll get to see all the cool products we have. But I also make an idea list. So if you're getting confused about all the stuff, just hit idea lists, and you can see every single show I have an idea list or a build guide. We built this trash can machine last week, and that was number 17. So you see that there with all the parts. There's the one a couple weeks ago with Tron D there, and you can see the one right now. So if you come in here, you got the show products for today. There's 5 products on the show today, and they're automotive and home technology products. Again, thank each and every one of these companies that trusted me to show their products, and there are some surprises in here. I'm super excited about this to show you today. I took some video that I'm going to play back. We're going to test a couple live here, and they actually work. Some of these, you kind of wonder about them, but, you know, proof is in the pudding, as they say. So we're going to start out with the Tron D here. So I think it's actually on sale right now too. Yeah, you get an extra 5% off if you check that little button, that coupon, and mine could be here as early as tomorrow with Amazon. But let's talk about what this thing is. I'm going to do a quick unboxing, and I'll tell you what I like about it, a couple things that maybe you should watch out for if you're going to buy one of these, and we'll get started on that right away. So again, if this is your first time here, this is John the Net Guy. Go ahead and hit that unmute if you're on Amazon watching. If you're on one of the other services, you're already unmuted. Thank you again for watching the show. This is the Tron D. It's a surge strip with 4 outlets and 3 USB charging ports. So this would be perfect in a home office. Let me bring you in the top-down camera here. So what you're getting is those 4 outlets. Now these are grounded outlets, but one of the selling features of this, you can see it's got a 5-foot long cord. One of the selling features is that it's an ungrounded, it's a polarized plug. I'll show you what that means here. So if I bring this over to the little camera, see how it only has 2 prongs, one thick, one skinny? That is a polarized outlet. And you're saying, okay, well, where's the ground pin? Well, that's actually what this thing is it's a combination of a regular outlet without a ground pin. So I'm going to unplug that one. I'm going to plug it in correctly. There we go, into the side there. And then you can see I can turn it on and off right here. And there's some very tiny indicator lights that show that it's on. So it's going to give you that capability to run multiple different items on this that may or may not require a ground without it. Now that's the thing that I want to just caution you about. If you got a really old home and you're going to run a ground adapter anyway, I wouldn't run this thing with any tools or appliances that require a ground. That's just a caution that I have to give you right now. That's just a safety thing for me. I'm big into electronics, electricity, so we'll do that. But that said, for the purpose that this is, to give you room and space to put those big chunky adapters in, totally cool. The other thing I really like about it is it's got their standard USB charger right on the side. Better yet, and I'm trying to see, yep, I trapped it in here. Inside is the welcome guide and a drilling template. How many times have you been like under a desk trying to mount this thing? Where I could see this working really well is actually under this new desk I've got. I'm always searching for plugs. This has a mounting template. So what you can do here is take this template up, drill out your holes or mark your holes where you're going to drill the screws in that they come with. Comes with some really small screws you can see here. Mark those out, drill those in, and then when you go to slide this thing on, it's going to fit perfectly. So that's a really cool feature that they have here. Again, from the Tron D company, this is the exact unit you're going to win. Here is this unit, and this is a 4-outlet surge strip. Now, I can tell you one of the things that I hate about the long, I've got piles of long, skinny surge strips, is they don't take into account the normal AC adapters that we deal with every day. I literally have boxes of extra adapters, different voltages. I think, what's this guy? 12 volts. This is like a BlackBerry charger or something. But check this out. I can fit 4 super chunky adapters in here on this thing with room to spare. So there we go. That's the purpose of this one from Tron D. Again, and I have to hold it the right way for you guys up there. This is their surge protector with USB. So small enough to travel with. It does have a 5-foot cord. If you're traveling to the in-laws, you know, we got some holidays, Memorial Day coming up, other things. This would be a really, really cool product. If you want to win this one, I'm going to put the URL down below again. You can go to that URL right there and you can sign that form up and it will get you entered to win this today. We're going to run the drawing towards the end of the show. So again, Tron D company, really cool product. As far as capacities, I know you guys always have questions about that. It's 1440 joules. I want to get this right. So that's the surge protection. As far as the outlets, they're 2.4 amp times 3 at 5 volts. So you're going to get the 2.4, that's what, 13-ish. But there's a 17 watt power maximum. So you probably want to run this with a couple LED strips or a couple low power. I wouldn't put 3 high power items on here and expect them all to charge at full speed. So again, that's from the Tron D company. If you guys got any questions, this is a live interactive show. That's why I do it live. So you can ask and answer your questions, whether you're on Amazon or anywhere else watching. And so I'm going to go ahead and put those back. I'm going to take the look at the chat, and we're going to visit the website one more time just to make sure. Oh, that's a cool idea. This is from Andrew Preston. Excellent to mount inside a Raspberry arcade cabinet or small entertainment center. Yeah, this would work really, really good. So again, one thing I really don't like about traditional surge strips is you probably can only get 4 outlets into them anyway because the way the adapters work, maybe not even 4. So if this is probably best for 2-prong, large, chunky AC to DC adapters that you need a lot of room for. So really cool. And if they do have that grounding plug, they will be plugged in. Like one of the ones I plugged in was all plastic and it had a DC out. So really the grounding plug wasn't doing anything on that one anyway. You'll see that real common to have a grounded or ground required outlet if you're getting into stuff that has a metal casing or something. But a polarized outlet is important, and that's why this end here is polarized, because that will actually have the neutral. So the thick side is actually your neutral side. And I was reading into that, long story short, but you know, if you have a lamp, most lamps only have 2 prongs. So you've got a neutral and a hot. Well, you wouldn't want the outside of the lamp to be the hot side, right? Because you could create a circuit. So that's why they invented the polarized outlet. is because the neutral side, it's still a current carrying conductor, but the neutral side is there. And so anything that's metal that might fail, they make go down that neutral. So this is from Tron D. This is our giveaway item. Hopefully you guys are signing up. I see a few of you are already signing up for the giveaway. It alerts me. So that's awesome. Thank you guys. And we're going to scoot along to our next product, which is another convenience product as well. Let me go here, and I'm going to update that on the carousel and make sure I get it right. Okay, and Tron D, I'm going to be back to you, so I don't want you to go too far away because we're going to bring you back at the end of the show. You are my winning product here. I'm going to pull up the next one. And that is one of our first automotive products. Here we go. Yeah, Andrew said this would be great for under desk. I think so as well. That would be awesome. So our next product that I'm pulling up, if we go again back to my Amazon shop here, you can actually see it. It's on the far end here. And this is from the Yantu company. Now, I want to thank Yantu. They trusted me to show their product here. They've got a great deal on this thing anyway without any sort of special. But it's one of those things that I actually need in my car. I debated on giving this item away, but I'm like, you know, I could actually use this in my new car. My new car has an inverter in the back, but no outlets, no cigarette lighter ports. And I don't know how long they're going to call them cigarette lighter ports because nobody includes a cigarette lighter. But this product they sent out to me, we're going to do an unboxing of it. It's from Yantu. And what's interesting about it is it's individually controllable. So you can power a variety of different devices from this, only $14.99. Now, I'm going to do a quick unboxing here to kind of show you what you get inside the box, but really, really basic. So you have, and it's actually, I wish I had something to kind of give you, well, here's a like a computer mouse, right? So it's smaller than a computer mouse, really, or just about the same size. Here's a Logitech mouse, not very big in size. And it has those individual buttons that you can see here, so you can turn things on and off, but it also includes 2 USB chargers. And then lastly, it has a 3M adhesive strip. So if you want to mount this maybe under a dash, I could see you doing that. One of the only drawbacks on this one that I noticed right away is I was hoping for a couple screw holes maybe that I could mount this in like a boat. This would be really awesome for me. I got spotlights and other really cool stuff I like to plug in, and I've only got one cigarette lighter. So this would be a really good idea for a boat where you might need additional ports. Now, I'm going to pull out some test equipment. Here we go. This is our DC outlet. I'm thinking about doing a lab show one of these days of all the weird test equipment that I have. Power supply testers, soldering irons, crazy stuff like that. If you're into that, let me know in the chat if you would watch a lab show. I literally have a soldering iron over there and a couple other things I want to show you. So we're here regulated at 12.8. Why 12.8? Well, that's a full battery generally, not exactly 12. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this thing in. I want you to know something right away. So it has a little meter there. So now it's coming in at 12.7. It's going to be off slightly. And I've noticed the more load, obviously, you put on it, that this can change, which is completely expected, actually. So that's another neat thing. So they're lighted. So if you're looking for that port at night in the back of a car, they've got lighted ports here. There's no covers for them, but another really cool thing. So as far as power draw, it's using 0.3 watts. So if you leave it plugged in all the time, I can't tell you how many times, and this is, I got to show this on the top down. I can't tell you how many times I've actually found battery problems with my car off of these really cheap, simple voltage meters. Because, you know, you can see in my new car that I got, it's got a 6-year-old battery, factory battery from Ford. And I was sitting on the ferry and I've been using it for 20 minutes maybe. And sure enough, it had already dropped down to like 12.3. And I was like, oh, okay, that doesn't have much, you know, standby time. So I replaced the battery and it's been working great. But this can be really good as just a diagnostic piece to tell you what's going on, as well as those charging USB ports. Now I got a new toy, speaking of lab equipment, test equipment to try out here. And that is this USB power meter. Now, got to put it in the right way. I'm going to try to put it on the overhead for you guys. So you can see here, it's going to be putting 5.1 volts out on the USB. And that's within spec, so it's not going to be hot, it's supposed to be 5 volts, but again, that's regulated. If I come down here, I grab the show iPhone and I plug in the charger, you're actually going to see it drop down there. So as it gets under load, it's got a 1 amp load, no problem at all, 5.06. And then if we come back out, I'll show you on the side camera, you can see there that the amps increase. Now, why is it only using half an amp on there? Well, it's 1 amp at 5 volts. 12 volts is much more than that, so we're using about 5 watts of power there. So it makes complete sense. Checks out. I tested this out last night with a couple other devices plugged in, and actually we're going to keep it around because I want to test some of the other devices that are coming up on the show. So if you got any questions, let me know. But this is the first product from the Yantu company. Again, I was excited about this because I need cigarette lighter plugs in my back of my car. I have one up front in the middle of the console, and I have one kind of in the center console inside. I'm excited about this because I can plug this in. It has very low standby draw current, and I can put outlets in the back plus 2 more chargers for my kids. They've got all their tablets and stuff. So this is going to be really cool. I'm excited about this. Let's go take a look at some of the pictures and make sure I didn't forget anything on the old Amazon there. That's where we're at. So again, $14.99 on this one. And as far as ratings go, 4.5 stars out of 5, which you can't beat that, right? And it's a lot smaller than you would actually think it is. Like I said, it's about the size of a USB mouse. You can install it to power your dash cams, GPS. I have a dash cam under here. If anybody's interested, we can test it, but I did test it out and it works really cool. Other things that we can do on it, again, turning things on and off. And I like it just for the diagnostic capability of how many of you guys are carrying a multimeter around in your car. But if you get back in your car and it's not going to start or something's not working right, you can immediately look at this and go, oh, I'm at 12.4, 12.3. I need to start the car up. So really cool to have that capability in there. I love that. In this case, they're showing how that you could actually run USB light strips. So another really cool thing. So very cool capabilities here. It does include a fuse on that, and it's a resettable link. Now, what's interesting about this, and again, I did not test this, is it doesn't have a separate fuse for this, but it's a piece of spring steel on the tip. So if you started to overload it for any reason, it is rated for 100 watts. That's the maximum you can run through it. So don't think you're going to overdo your outlet and run 20 amps at 12 volts. It's not going to handle that. But if it starts to get overheated, it'll actually retract that prong and you'll actually lose connection. It'll turn itself off, which is a great safety feature to have there. And like it says, in about 15 seconds, it recloses and you get your device back. So that's pretty cool. I think I've covered everything on this one. And yeah, 70 centimeter length cord. You guys do the math in freedom units. We'll find out what that is. I'm guessing that's somewhere around 28-inch cord, 24-inch, somewhere in there. And that's enough for me to come from my center console where I have my extra power port to the back where they're showing here. So this is exactly how I would use it in my little new car and charge my kids' tablets. So that would be really cool. And then just make sure here. Now, this Yantu company does have several other models of this. If maybe you want one that plugs directly in, they have those. Maybe you want ones with or without the USBs. They've got all of that. There's some dimensions for you there. Hey, I got close. Andrew says the 70 centimeters is 27.5 American inches. So very cool. So that was from Yantu company. I'm going to pull the next product up here. And we're going to go out of the automotive world for just a second because I got to show you something really, really cool. And this is from Dihoom, Dihoom, and it is a solar-powered security camera. Now, I've shown you a lot of Wyze products on the show, like a lot of Wyze. So like my #1 videos on my channel are all Wyze products. So we're going to look at this here in just a second. We'll put this back carefully. Come back to this, but I need to pull this next one up because it is super duper impressive. So this is the box, and this is from the Dihoom company. This is their solar-powered, battery-powered security camera. Now, it very much challenges the Wyze Outdoor Cam, if you have one of those. Probably neck and neck, if not better picture quality by far than the original. And the V2, it's really close. It has a different purpose. Now, it doesn't have base stations and travel mode and all of those other things that you may come to expect from Wyze, but what it does have is an amazing picture and no monthly fees. So they have the capability here. I'm going to do a quick unboxing with the top camera just so you can kind of see how they've put everything in here. This is the user manual you have here, your quick start guide. Pretty simple to follow. You got solar panel. You actually have 2 brackets in here too. That confused me a little bit the first time, is that you actually have 2 brackets. You have one for the solar panel and then you have one for the camera itself. It's got a ton of different adhesive or screw mounts. So that's that capability. And there's how to align it. So this is the solar panel right here that it comes with. So that's kind of a trick little system there. I've seen a lot of this size solar panel because it's just enough to run a camera, maybe a few watts at most. It's not going to be, you know, some super fancy one. Now, I don't have the camera in here, and that's because it's been sitting around me the whole time. But this is normally what you'd get out of it next. And this, I absolutely love these half hemisphere mounts. So what's cool about this magnetic mount, watch this. You can point this in any direction. Let's get back out here. So you can mount this anywhere. If I had it mounted here and, oh, the picture's not perfect, I can move it towards you, or I can move it up, or I can move it down. This half hemispherical mount is perfect. And the fact that it's battery powered means that there's no other wires. Now you can run it 3 months just like this. They have a version that you can buy that just has this. Now this kit that they sent me out, which is really cool, and I flagged it in the Amazon chat, is for the one with the solar panel included. You can run this forever. So you don't have to go out there and pull it down and be down a couple days and remember to charge it and send it back up. This one will run, it says continuously. I'm guessing in most places that have sun, that you can run this thing continuously on the internal battery with the included solar panel, which is pretty slick. So I'm going to turn it on here. And the way I do that, I just go down to the bottom. This is where it recharges. I'm going to show you that on the top camera here. So I just pulled this waterproof cover off, and this is, again, outdoor waterproof. I'm going to hold that down for a couple seconds until it makes noise. There we go. And you can see that little blue light means that it's connecting. Now, if I was setting it up for the first time, you need to download the Daihoom app. Actually, their version, if you follow the quick start guide, is even better. It's the Vic Home is what this one does. If you do the Daihoom app, you're going to have to fix some things, like it didn't work initially, so I'm hoping they're working on that. But if you download the Vic Home app, which I'm going to show you in a second, you can actually go in there and set this thing up in just a matter of minutes, and the picture quality, it's already recording, is fantastic. So I'm going to show you some examples of that when we get into the app. As far as if you wanted to recharge it, does come again with a few feet of micro USB cable. Like I told you, it's got a ton of different mounts. It's got a reset pin there. Another cool thing, it's got an adhesive mount for that hemispherical base. So if I was really serious about putting this up on my wall, like I was telling you, I could literally just take this adhesive base, put it on here, go mount that to my wall, and put that up, and I've got a stick-up cam in seconds. So this really competes with Blink and their stick-up camera, but it's got a 5200 milliamp hour battery. That is so huge, the 5200. Now this is kind of funny. I didn't show you what's going on here, but actually I think I can pull it up on the side. It's saying Bat Cam. That's what I called this one. A person has been detected. This is the camera already now that it booted up. It's already talking to me. And it's already attacking everything that's metal in my little room here. This is going to be for later. But yeah, this is from Daihoom. Again, a battery powered cordless wireless camera. So you think of a lot of the wireless IP cameras. This thing is way, way beyond that. It's already got a solar panel coming with it that's calibrated and works with it. It's waterproof, including while running solar. So you see that plug there? If I move this out, and I think I might have to remove it, I'd have to go look in the actual detailed instructions. But when I plug this solar panel in like this, it creates that gasketed seal again. So I retain my waterproofing even while it's plugged in. So I can see this. I've had some mail theft lately. Thanks, people. So I actually can see this working really well up at the top of my property, and I've got Wi-Fi signal up there. I don't have power at my mailbox where I want to run this. Basically, I want to run this right on top of the mailbox. And another interesting thing I should point out about it. So from a unit perspective, it's pretty heavy. This thing's almost all battery, right? Let me show you on the side camera here. Just kind of rough dimensions. We were using a a mouse before, so about the size of a mouse. So that's pretty reasonable. Another cool thing about it is the housing is removable. That's how you set it up. So if you wanted to set it up this way, there's a QR code on the back that I'm not going to show you guys because I don't trust y'all. No, I trust you guys. I don't trust people watching this on replay that are going to try to get my camera. I did sign up for it with an email address. So you do have to have an email address. It does send you a verification code. It goes through all of that. But really easy to use and set up. I'm going to set that there. And it is freaking out right now. It's sending my phone notices constantly that stuff's going on. But I do want to show you a quick sample of the quality of it. And then we're going to take it. A couple questions that are coming in already. Any local storage or all cloud? Actually, you know what? Great point. Let me pull this off and not show people again my QR code. But great question. Thank you again for keeping me honest there, Rare Apple. If you come in here and flick this up, there's your micro SD slot. I don't remember the exact max. I think it is a full 128 gig. You can put up to a 128 gig in there. It does have 7 days of rotating cloud storage. Another interesting thing that you'll notice is it's got this really large area right here. And this large area is the passive infrared sensor. So Wyze and others, like all the manufacturers that are working in this space, are using passive infrared because they can keep that powered up for a very, very low power draw. And then when they see any motion, it kicks on. Problem with that is you get alerted for everything. Any kind of motion, you'll start getting random false alerts. Wyze has solved this with Cam Plus. These guys have a similar capability and a feature. They have person package detection and all of that with the cloud, so they have that capability as well. As far as smart home integrations, that's a great question. You know what? I did not see that off of the bat. That's another question that came in from Andrew Preston. I'm going to take a look here. I've got Android and App Store, but I do not see any indications of Apple or anybody else yet. So I have not seen that mapped to one of those. So I'm gonna have to say no on that one right now from what I can see. That would be one big difference, is if you wanted it to show up on one of your smart devices. I've got both Google and Apple as well. So that's the device. Let me pull over here the Amazon page for it, because they're actually running a special on it right now. And I've got to mute my detections here, or it is going to go completely crazy. Give me 1 second here. And then I'll show you what it looks like, because it's got a great interface. Love that. So let's go back over here to the Amazon. So this is the Daihoom's Amazon page. Again, brand new product. This one's very, very new. It's got a 4.1 out of 5. Pretty good distribution here. Extra 10% off coupon right now. That's at least for me, and when I'm looking at it, that can be really helpful, save you a little bit of money. Mine could be here as early as Thursday, so it looks like it's got the 2-day shipping on mine. That's a good picture of it right there. Let's talk about the difference in full HD versus 4 megapixel. It was remarkable right off of the bat how much sharper this is. So it's a 2560 by 1440 1440p resolution versus 1080p. That's a lot more pixels. It doesn't sound like much more pixels, but it's a ton more pixels of information on there. And you can definitely see it when I pull up the example pictures that I'm going to show you. Non-stop solar power is absolutely true. So you're buying a product for $89, but it's going to not require batteries every 3 months. So you're not doing something like that. It's got a rechargeable built-in battery. And if you're in a place that has enough sun, it should stay running forever, which is exciting about that. It does have some really cool features that I'm actually thinking they suggest to Wyze. Well, they shouldn't, I should. One of them is a cool thing that it does with the integrated flashlight. So whereas Wyze, you have to buy an add-on spotlight camera, this has a spotlight camera built into it. So that's another huge delineation between this one and the other ones. And I don't even think they have a spotlight cam yet for the Wyze Cam Outdoor. So this kind of has that. So very cool capability here. I'm going to run over in just a second and show you the pictures. I'm just looking to make sure I didn't lose anything. Still has the standard capability to share with family members, which we like. This is the 128 gig. Now it's not included. You get 7-day loop video in the cloud included. But if you want to throw, these things are cheap, 5, 6, 12 bucks. You can get 64 gigs, 32 gigs, and that'll get you days of recording. I recommend that no matter what. Looks like you've got some activity zone capability with it. I did not configure those yet, but it absolutely does car, person, package detection. I'm going to show you that here in just a second. What is funny is it actually detected a pet in my front yard, and I'm like, oh, exciting. and it wasn't there. So I did send that in with some feedback to them. So that said, well, pet detection might need some help, but they all do. They're all kind of AI based here. So we'll talk about that. But let me go through real quick the photos. This was the unboxing I did when we actually had everything brand new in the box. So when I do my full review video, you'll see that. And this was the picture I was greeted with right off of the bat here. And you can see some of my wiring in the ceiling. And look how sharp my beard is on that picture. That's the difference right there. Well, that's a good place to pause, huh? That's the difference right there. You can count the beard hairs on that guy in this video, which is way, way better than the Wisecam Outdoor has. Wisecam Outdoor now has the new Starlight sensor. This one has very good night performance. I don't know. The Starlight sensor is actually the chip, so it's available to other companies that might do this. I don't know if it has that, but it has a couple different other capabilities I do want to show you guys. So that was a real interesting one there. Let's talk about picture quality here. So this is the picture quality at night with just a simple porch light on. My spotlights on my front yard are not on. You can see the pictures way out here by the road. This is it in night vision, but with the lights on. So it's not as good because it's trying to use IR and it's getting overexposed there, but that's with all of my lights off doing the infrared. So this is kind of a weird thing. I was testing this out last night for the show, and the sharpness is remarkable, actually. That's one of the things that I wanted to point out, is that even though it doesn't have a Starlight sensor, it's got a really sharp picture. So I'm super excited about that. Go over here again. This was a picture that I took with my iPhone. This was with the flash of my iPhone, but to show you how dark it was, that's what the iPhone got without a flash. I have those little puck lights so people don't fall off my stairs if the lights are off, but that's all the light that was out there. And if we go back to, that's what it looks like on the camera. So much, much good, brighter IR illumination from the camera, which was really exciting to see. I'm gonna go over here. This is me in my great DeLorean shirt. And this is what it looks like when it's mounted up. I wanted to show you guys that real quick. So when it's mounted up on the wall there, that's what you're seeing. It's really convenient because you have no wires, which is really cool. So you don't have to figure out how to drill holes. You don't have to do whatever. If you've got Wi-Fi, you're good. And you've got a cord long enough here that you can reach your solar panel to wherever you need to go, which is another really cool benefit of this one compared to all others. I'm going to take a quick pause. I'm going to check the Amazon chat here. We got the live Amazon chat going. Is there a wattage limit? Was John Hardwick, thank you so much for the follow earlier. And yes, there is a wattage limit on this splitter we were talking before that was 100 watts, not on this camera, but there's a wattage limit of 100 watts on that other one. So it's about 8 amps is what they want you to run, which is probably safe. So Kadya, I think that's how you spell or pronounce your name. Thank you so much for the follow on Amazon. You're going to get notified each and every time I go live. Make sure you get in on the giveaway down there. I'll love to see you guys win that. And Sylvester Esperaza, thank you for the follow, and I really do appreciate that as well. And Chea Sarah, thank you for starting to follow. You're going to get notified each and every time I go live, and more giveaways and other cool stuff are coming. Like I said, this was the first show that was entirely sponsored products. I want to thank again all of my sponsors that were able to bring these to me. So this is a picture again of what this looks like outside. Again, I just used my iPhone taking a picture so you can see it. And I wanted to show you, this is the spotlight capability. So you can turn the spotlight on if you hear noise outside, and you can get an illuminated picture even with my porch light off like I have in this case. There's another really cool thing which I want to show you coming up here. So that was the other pictures. I need to go back to the video I have of the spotlight at work, which I think is this one. I thought that was a video. There we go. So this is a video, and turned off. I'm going to turn to this one. Is this the video? There we go. So the cool thing about this is a video. So when you know what? It's not playing properly. Sorry about that. I really wanted to find this one for you guys because it is so cool when it works. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that one's going to work. I might have to go back and look or see if it's... Oh, here it is. It's down below. So this is a intruder mode that it has, a flashlight mode. Think about this. Imagine when your camera sees motion, if it can do this. So it's blinking. My camera did not catch that really well, but it's blinking several times a second, and it's causing a distraction to the person that's out there to let them know that, hey, you have a camera here. So if they didn't see those two little tiny red IR lights, it's going to show them that this camera's out there. I haven't seen this on any other manufacturer's camera yet, and I love this idea because it makes a deterrent. So if somebody's going roaming around your mailbox, roaming around your cars at night, if I saw that at 2 in the morning and I'm thinking, uh-oh, somebody's, going to see me on this, I might stop doing what I was doing. So that was another capability that I wanted to show you. And then let's look at real quick, and I can't really full screen this, but take a look at the daytime clarity on this. Like, I'm almost thinking blades of grass, right? This thing's got some really, really clear picture, and that comes from the 4 megapixel. So again, from the Daihum company, this is their solar powered wireless light, not wireless light, wireless security camera. And right now it's got an additional 10% off. That's going to be about $9, so it's about an $81 investment. Now, it doesn't have the full-blown ecosystem yet of the other ones. Let me show you what the app looks like real quick. So I got my show phone here, and I'm going to bring up the app in the side screen here. So hopefully you guys can see this. So what you can do is you can actually, I'm not going to worry about the do not disturb here. I'm going to go to the library. Again, I just installed this one. So these are all the events that it saw today, but I want to show you this one that it has here. So I'm looking at right about there. See that one right there? The bat cam, and it's got the person. I'm going to do the do not disturb. I'm gonna hide this because otherwise it just constantly, because I have it on here pointed at me, it's going to constantly keep going. But I want to show you from today. This is my Amazon delivery angels, I call them. It's got a car detected, a person detected, and a package detected. Now what's interesting is it actually has different 10-second clips. The reason it had the package detected, here you go, the guy's walking up with it. So I don't know if that actually has sound too in the playback. It does have the ability to do two-way audio to that person. So you can see down there, those are the packages that it detected. So you can set up your stuff to only alert you when you see certain things, which is really cool. I don't know the cost yet on the person and package detection. I know that there's looped video. I'm in their 30-day trial of the advanced AI features, which is really cool. So another neat thing, if you were looking at something and you weren't going to be getting a camera from Wyze or somebody else, this is a great option. It's probably one of the strongest camera options out from a non-Wyze company. Let me plug my show phone in here just in case we get questions and I need to come back to it. Need to plug it into charge. I just noticed I had it down between shows. So that was from Daihum. I'm going to go back over to our page here. Amazon.com/shop/thenetguy. I'm going to turn on the giveaway again just so you guys can see that right there. And we're going to get out our next product. This is another one I'm excited about just because it did perform so well. I had a lot of suspicions about this, and if you guys have followed me on my social media, you've probably seen me tease this next couple of products quite a bit. And it's only because, it's rare when you see products like this. So let me get that up here. And I'm going to go back to the Amazon app. And I'm going to pull this up. The next product that we've got coming up. Hey, Ronan, thank you so much for the follow on Amazon. This is awesome. I appreciate you guys doing that. Right now, we're going to look at the next product, which is actually, again, from Yantu. They sent me 2 products for this show. This is their portable cordless tire inflator. Now, I can't tell you how many times I've gone out to use my riding mower and it's got a flat tire. Or my kids are like, oh, I want to ride my bike, but the tire's flat. Can you haul out the air compressor and the hose or whatever? They lose all their bike pumps. I've even had little portable bike pumps, but I don't know if you've tried to use those things. Those things take forever, and you're never, ever going to do a car tire with one of those. So that was really cool. Randy J was asking about magnetically mounted. Yes, that camera prior was magnetically mounted, but if you mount it in a spot where you would need a ladder, that's another really cool thing, and that's where the cloud recordings come in. So if somebody does try to climb up and grab it, that's where you got the cloud recording ability. Other cool things that it has is it does have screw down mounts. It has both kinds of mounts, which is pretty slick. So wanted to show you guys that. Let's look at the top down camera real quick on this. I'll do a quick unboxing and show you what you're getting in their kit. This is the Yantu car tire, spelled European or everywhere else in the world, inflator. Really cool product again from Yantu. So it's got the instruction manual. This has a pretty good gauge. Unfortunately, that's the Chinese side. This is the English side, but unfortunately the numbers are going to be in pressure per kilogram. Not really useful if you're looking for pressure. So I was actually able to use my smart home assistant to tell me what pressures. It does have a carrying bag, which is really slick too. I don't like tools that don't have a way to keep all their parts together, so that's another important thing to me. Nice carry bag to put everything in. This is the tire inflator, and what's cool about it, it's not too heavy, but it has that plug you can see there, a USB-C port, and a power button on one side. The other side is very simply just a regular Schrader valve without the centerpiece. So it's just a screw down outlet. Now I haven't even taken this off. Let's see. Probably didn't hear that. Nice clean unboxing there. So that's the top of it. It's capacitive touch controls. So you just tap them. So once I turn this on, you'll see right away. There's the screen on it. Nice, bright, easy to read screen day or night. It does start out in the European bar, so barometric pressure, that's like 14 psi per bar. You don't want to do the conversion, trust me, but I'll show you how to get it in the right way. So then there's this, which is your double-ended Schrader valve connector. It's got a USB Type-C. It has a 9-foot cord. So this is a 3-meter, 9-foot cigarette lighter adapter cord. So this plugs into your car, assuming you don't have power. But what's cool about this thing, it works right now. It's completely cordless. And I'm sure it's got some pretty thick lithium-ion batteries in there, and I'll show you why in a second. I had a great time testing this thing out, trust me. So this is going to be a great product for us. It's one of those things that I need in this house. It's got a couple other cool things. My kids love to lose these. It's going to have a fuse, so in case you do for some reason blow the fuse on there, that's one item. It's going to have a regular, inflator for pool toys and other stuff. I did not test that out, and most of these do either really good at high pressure or they do really good at low pressure items, but it's hard to find one that does both. It does have a sports, ball, basketball, football inflator, and then it does have this adapter. Somebody in the chat figure this out, but this one is for the super expensive bikes that I don't have to a Schrader valve fitting. I forgot the name of these ones, but this is a simple adapter. If you have one of those super expensive bikes, you probably have a Schrader valve adapter. So the Schrader valve, when I talk about that, is what your normal bike tire uses. And that's been around. I was doing some research last night from like the 1840s or something, and when it was patented. So that's been around for quite some time. So this works as well. I'm going to get this out of the way, and I'm going to bring up some other toys that we can use. Again, this is from the Yantu company. The cool thing about this one, and the thing that I really like about it right off the bat, is that it's cordless. Now, in my RV, I have a leaky tire that's constantly losing air. The problem is that RV is, 23 feet long. My truck's hooked to it. So if I need to add a couple, 5 PSI to my trailer tire, I can't run it back. I have to unhook the truck. I have to back up. I have to do all this stuff. This is something I would highly recommend to keep in your vehicle. Keep it in the bag. Keep it with all the stuff. If you've got kids, this is something really simple. Again, don't let them use this by themselves because, again, there is a danger possibly of hurting themselves with air pressure. Compressed air can be really dangerous. But I will show you some safety features that this thing has that I was excited about. I'll tell you about my mom's story on that in a second. So this adapter that they have here for the cigarette lighter, the standard one, when you plug it in, this will power the unit even if the battery's completely dead, which is really cool. That's one thing, but it will not charge the unit. So you don't charge the unit with this. Just remember that. It charges USB-C. Now it's going to charge for like 10 hours. So if you get this thing really low because of the battery capacities here, it only charges, I think, at like 5 watts or something. It's going to charge for a very long time, but that's okay because you can use the backup cord if you need it right away, which is kind of nice. So just remember to keep it up and charged. It's got a couple interesting things. I don't know if this camera is going to be best for it, but you can see there's a little car icon. As I hit the recall here, it's going to be in bar, but I can hit this other button and change it to PSI. So now I can switch that one over to PSI. I can switch this one to PSI. And as I go through them, now it's saying, hey, this tire is set to 8.5 for a bike tire. Bike tires are much more than that, but you can see how you can set the units based on whichever item you have. Let me see if that shows better on the right side for you guys. So there you go. So you guys can hopefully see that, but there's a little bike icon, and then there's those capacitive touch buttons. I just happen to have brought a couple things to try out. A bike tire. Yeah, I stole it off there, and I did manage to get a slug on the table earlier that I had to clean off, so that's just my luck. That's what happens when you try to do stuff. So this bike tire is flat. I can squish it all the way down, and actually we can make it even more flat by just putting one connector on here, and you can see it lets the air out of it. So how do we set this thing up if we were going to inflate a kid's bike tire? Let me show you that real quick. It's really cool. Night Rider lights is the most important thing on a vehicle. I actually believe that. I'm with you there. And very naive, Jennifer Lude says. Very naive to you too. So I'm plugging this in and then I'm locking it down. This is the side of the unit there. I'm going to go to the overhead screen so you can see what I'm doing. So I've plugged that in and I've locked that side down. I'm going to plug this side in. And I'm going to lock it down. Now, if you have enough pressure and everything connected properly, let's see if I got that. There we go. It would read out. Now, this bike tire is flat, so there's no air pressure in it. But what I can do is I can use this and I can set my PSI to whatever I want. If I hold it down, it should go faster. So you can see I'm going to say I want to go to 20 PSI on this bike tire, and then I can hit play. Now, sorry, that was loud, but I know my noise canceling probably took care of that for you. But yeah, that was it running. It's pretty loud, but all of them are, right? But what it's done is it's actually charged this bike tire. Now, I can bounce it on the table here, and it actually works. Now, if you read on this bike tire, it can actually go up to 60. So this is kind of a street tire, so you can get up higher. So if I need a few more, I can do that. Another problem that I have on this one, you'll see it in a second here. So it's going to get there, and this may start counting down a little bit. I was having that happen earlier. And what that means is I actually do have a leak on here. So this has got an integrated pressure monitor. There you go, 21.5 it's telling us. And it may actually come down a little bit, 21. So I've got a leak in this tire. That's probably why it was flat when I went and grabbed it, 20.5. So you're getting two items really cool here. You're getting both the pressure meter and the tire filler. So you can see this tire is going down on its own right there. So that tire's done. Let's go back and talk about some other cool items. And then I'm going to show you how it works on cars. Now, I didn't find a way to get a car in here, but I did get a basketball. Now, this basketball is full, but if you're like my kids, you can figure out how to deflate anything. So, oh, the mic thing did not like that error. I just saw that. Sorry about that, guys. That was loud. So I'm going to let this thing down. Now, I don't want to go that high for a basketball. Basketball, you only want about 9. And that's like between 7 and 9. So I'm just going to tap this down. And this is so cool and easy to use. And the one thing I like about it is that auto shut off. You saw how quickly it shuts off, right? So this is essentially flat. It's just the body of it is doing that. Now you may have to take this out. Put it in here, lock it down. So that's what I've done. I've taken that little adapter, I've locked it down, I put it in here. Now, in the lower pressures, I've noticed this thing going in half PSI increments, which is really smart because if you went from 0 to a ton, you could actually blow this basketball up. So I'm able to get it. It'll start coming on the range here. I'm at 3. You can see that readout, hopefully. 3.5. Okay, that's about good. That's where I like my basketball. And we're back to normal. So, really cool. Again, like I said, the safety features on that, I think below 10 PSI, it actually does in small increments because it's going to shut itself off right away just for safety. Above that, you can lock it and set it to whatever pressure you want. Now, my mom, hi mom, if you're watching, she drives around the country. She does a moving business. It's kind of cool. She has a trailer that she tows behind her all the time, and she's gone to a couple of these truck stops to fill up the tires. Now, what's interesting is when she put the adapter onto her tire, she had a trailer tire that needed like 50 psi. She attached one of those locking adapters so you don't have to hold it on there, and she essentially forgot about it. She didn't know that it wouldn't stop, and it actually exploded the tire. It did some weird stuff to her fingernail, but luckily it did not hurt her. But this is another thing that I like about this, is that built-in shutoff. So if you're worried about overinflating a tire, this, when it gets to that rate, it immediately stops, which is really cool. So I'm going to show you guys that real quick. Put my basketball away, give it back to the kids. I actually have some video I took earlier of some tire inflation real quick. First one I'm going to show you, I'm going to bring it over here on the side. I have to bring this up, is my boat trailer tires. So those were low. And actually, oh, you know what? This is not it. Sorry about that. I'm going to have to bring up the other one here. Tire inflator test. We'll do this first. Okay, tire inflator test. So this one is from Yantu, and this is my boat trailer tire. Now, this was using it last night, and I'll show you some of the cool stuff coming up. There's how you power it on and plugging it in. Now, my boat trailer is in pretty good condition, and the tires are new. So again, 3.01 bars is, if you hit the PSI button, 45 PSI. Now, I know cold tire pressure on these is actually supposed to be 50. So I was able to increase it up to 50. And so when I hit the go, I was like, wait a sec, it's not doing anything. And that's because it was already at 45. So it didn't do anything because it was already at pressure. So if you go up to 50, now hopefully you guys will hear this. Yeah, kind of drowns out, the noise canceling is going to drown out any of the noise that it's making. There we go. 37 seconds to get me just a top off from 45 to 50 psi, so I can get it to the pressure I want. Now, this is actually when I did my travel trailer, which has a slow leak. It leaks like 1 psi a day. Well, if it parks for 30 days, you're down to a flat tire. So I've always had to drag my air compressor up to the top of my property and plug it in. I don't have power where this thing was. I didn't have a car that I could use on it. And I just want to show you how cool this thing is without any additional power. Now, I just filled up the other one, and I came up here, so it's only had 37 seconds of use. I can go ahead and hit this button and set this one to go to 50 PSI. Now, I'm going to speed this video up a lot because I don't want you guys to have to sit here. It does take a while. You know, it's going to do, what, maybe 10 PSI a minute, maybe 8 PSI a minute. But it's doing this entirely on the built-in batteries, which is amazing. I was able to get it to 50 PSI, so if you have a big RV that needs hundreds of PSI, the cool thing about this is you can get yourself up to something where you can roll on it safely within a matter of minutes. So 5 minutes. That worked. I think I'm talking in the video. 5 minutes and 40 seconds there, it's already able to inflate the tire, which is super cool. And that was this inflator that's sitting right here. So from Yantu company, that was a really neat feature. Again, if you didn't have enough battery power, you could plug this in and plug it right to the car. But I love the convenience of battery portability. And the cool thing about this is you're able to inflate anything. You go into the sports park, you don't have a car right there, you can fill up as many basketballs as you want. If you want to fill up bike tires, you're taking the kids out, you can fill up as many of those as you want, and you don't have to have anything, which is really cool. Comes with an additional fuse just in case for some reason that you break the fuse on it, and the one that's in there. And like I said, it comes with the other kinds of inflators. Let me check the chat real quick and see if anybody figured out what kind of inflator that is. Somebody says they have to run off and get dinner. So, sorry, I guess you're not going to answer that question. It does come with the USB charging cord. It does not come with a USB adapter. So you can use one of the other products that we have here on the show. Now that I have this, I'm going to put all of these in here because this is going in a car. I'm going to have this ready to go in our cars whenever we need them. So again, convenient carry bag. And again, this is from the Yantu company. This is their cordless tire inflator, which pretty cool product. Again, I was not expecting a lot, especially out of something I thought it might do, 10 PSI and shut off. But this thing worked really, really well. So that's from the Yantu company. There's the instructions. We're going to go to our last product and then do our drawing. One other thing I wanted to point out is I did cross-check, and it was exactly 50 psi. So that worked out really, really well when I was testing those, and it was dead on accurate. Actually, I do need to shut this camera off because it's going to keep buzzing my phone as we get to the last product. Here we go. Here we go, turning that off. This was the camera that I showed you just a little bit ago. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to put this down, and we're going to get the last product up here. We're going to get it on the Amazon chat. Thank you guys for checking in. I'd rather wait 5 minutes than try to take the tire off and to get it filled. Absolutely, Jennifer. 5 minutes of wait time. That's what my normal one runs when it's plugged into the car, which is amazing capability that this thing has. I was super excited about that. The next tool comes to the Vitoman company. This is from the Vitoman company, and it is an impact wrench. Now, there's a lot of people right now are into these impact tools, and they'll use what they're calling an impact driver. I want to show you the difference on that. Now, I used an impact driver to put that camera in. This is an impact driver. It has a little tiny 1/4 inch, bit driver on it. This is not an impact driver, so don't confuse the two. This is an impact wrench. What that means is that this product is designed to take on and off large bolts, most of the time lug nuts that are on really tight for car tires, but it can work on other things. People are using these more and more throughout the car industry to take off, brake parts and other things that are on pretty tightly. Let's do a quick unboxing here. I'm going to bring the top camera down. So this is the Vitoman Impact Wrench. Now, what's cool about this is it belongs to their Tool Core series. Now, what's the Tool Core series? Synonymous with cool. I didn't think this thing was going to work. I didn't think this thing was going to work halfway as good as it did. And I'll be honest, there's some shade on the internet on this thing. I went out and looked at a video somebody put out. It's this big burly guy, some tool website. And he goes, yeah, this thing's junk, blah, blah, blah. It's never going to work. He goes over to his huge diesel truck and he takes the lug right off of it instantly. And he goes, oh yeah, it's still got to be awful. I'm like, no, the thing did exactly what you told it. So the cool thing about the Tool Core series that they have is that this same unit can have interchangeable heads. It's a battery pack. It's an impact wrench. It's a jump starter. But you can also get different heads, like a tire inflator, just like the Ontos. So if you want to have one ecosystem, you can have a tire inflator and a sports ball inflator. You can have a vacuum cleaner if you want to have that. And you can even do a pressure washer. They've got a pressure washer attachment. So that's another cool thing about it. Awesome, cool feature. Remember bags? I'm big into the bags. So this is the bag that they include. It's not super thick, but it's definitely going to hold up, I believe. So you can put all your pieces and tools in there and not lose it. This thing is super duper heavy. It is heavy, heavy duty. It's a 1/2 inch drive. So if you've got other tools there, you've got the 1/4 inch drive for the small stuff. You've got the 3/8 drive, which is kind of the normal. 1/2 inch drive is where you're starting to get really big tools and lug nuts and other stuff, big sockets that you're going to run. No other controls on it other than a forward and reverse. And then you can see how it attaches down there. It's using some pretty large cable. That said, let's keep going down in here because that's where the good stuff is. And this is where things get interesting. So you've got this attachment. This has got a positive and a negative. It has these little terminals here. And it has a boost button and a reverse and a correct. So this has all of that capability right here. So you've got these different buttons and it has a booster here so that it can do a little bit of a jump start boost. If you're just charging up a car, you plug that in normally. You can plug these in and let it sit and it'll charge. But if you need that starting, you want to try to do a crank start, it's got that starting current with that boost capability. Down deep in the bottom is this reusable battery unit. Now I only have it at 3 stars because I've been using it. I've been using this thing to take a bunch of lugs off and on. I have not recharged it since I got it. I charged my laptop with it. Yes, that's another cool thing. Take a look at that port there. That's a USB-C charging port. Now they include a USB-C cable, but they don't include a charger. It's another one of those scenarios. But you know what? You plug this right here. You plug this into any USB port and you can charge this thing back up. Now, inside it has a 43 watt-hour battery. Now, if you're comparing that to other impact tools, I believe it's about 3 amps, 3.5 amps. Don't quote me on that. So it's about 5,600 milliamp hours. So at 5 volts. So depending on the tools that you're comparing it to, you gotta check all of that. So really, really simply plugs into the bottom of the tool. I'm gonna go back out here so you can see it. And there's it's running. Now it claims 500 foot-pounds or 700 Newton meters of capability of force. I can't test that high. I can only tell you what I've been able to test it to. Now, I happen to have a torque wrench here. So, you know, these are used by automotive shops. This is the one when you're taking lugs and other things on and off and brake parts, you have to set them to spec. And I did test this thing up to 150, which if people are putting your lugs down at over 150, they're doing something bad. But yeah, this is battery powered. Timothy Clark was asking about that. I'm trying not to put my fingers in this because it could hurt me. But I was able to use this, and I want to pull those videos up both as a jump starter as well as removing lugs, and it outperformed my wildest expectation. Couple interesting quirks here, I just have to say. So it has this socket that connects on here, and you can kind of see, if I get it close, there's a hole there that kind of indexes, and it has these pins that you can put in, and then this little gasket to hold them in. I've not been using that, and maybe I should have, because I was testing this out in my kitchen. Don't tell my wife. And this fell off because it will just push on and off. It doesn't have a positive retention like some other tools do. It does with the little the outer clip, but it fell off and it hit our quartz countertop. And these things must be hardened because it put a little nick in our quartz countertop already. So that was pretty impressive. But yeah, very quiet. Now you can hear this. You can hear how that gets really loud. This thing's computer controlled. So it only goes the speed that it needs to, unlike air tools, which rev up really loud. This thing only goes as fast as it needs, but when it needs to compress down hard, it does really, really well. Good question here. It says it's curious about how it performs against air ones. Technically, this is stronger than my air one. If it performs the full 500, my air ones are like 200 and I think 400. Ratings are always questionable, but I'm going to show you the video real quick to show you where I got with this thing because it was really cool. So let's start out with a simple test on this. Again, this is from Vitoman. This is the V700, and this is me on that same boat. Now, this is a saltwater trailer. It's been in and out of salt. Those are rusted lug nuts on here. Now, I put it on, and hopefully you hear it. I actually pulled it off, and then I put it back on, and that quickly. I was kind of surprised. These are probably 75 or 80 pounds, and it's able to pull them off, and it only uses as much power as it needs. It doesn't rev up super high, which was kind of interesting. You know, when the air ones go, they usually fling the nut off. This went on really, really easy. The next thing I want to show you is I actually put it back down here, and then I got the torque wrench out because I wanted to see if this thing could really do what it claimed. Now, 150 pounds is probably twice what these lugs should take. I think they're 1/2 inch or maybe 9/16. So I actually went through and I took my torque wrench and I got it to torque spec, so to 150, and this thing is dialed in. And that's the most I could really honestly test to. And if you're a woman, you've got upper body issues, if you're older and you need something that's going to let you change a car tire, maybe you want to be able to change a car tire, but you're not going to carry around a 3-foot bar. If you've gone to the store or whatever, the tire shop, and they've put them down way too tight, which they tend to do. Here's the clicker. That clicking sound that you're hearing is the torque wrench showing you that it's relieving, that it's at 150. And I take the tool right out here. There's no cuts in this video. So it's down to 150. You heard the clicks. And it's like butter. This thing is so easy to take off. It does go through, and it kind of has like different speeds, like almost gears. And it gets angry. And this thing worked. So really, really excited about that. And once I saw that, I was like, I got to try the next one, right? The next one is my big diesel truck. I've got a big diesel truck for a reason. I'll let this guy explain it. Hey, this is John the Net Guy, and today we're going to check out if the Vitoman 700 impact wrench can take the lugs off of my F350 diesel truck. Yeah, now this is my F350. This is a big truck. It's 8,000 pounds, It's got the War of Lug Nuts here. It's got 8 lug nuts on this side, you can see. And it is definitely heavy duty. Now, it comes with 4 different size lug nuts, good for American, domestic, and international. Almost any car. Doesn't have security lug nuts, but most of the time you're going to have adapters for that. Watch this. And I know mine are down at least 150 each. So these larger ones you definitely put down hard. And I just take another one out here real quick. That was forward. Now, I did slip the battery out here accidentally. What happened? I re-click it down and then go ahead and tighten it back down. I'll take them out, I guess, in that case. But definitely a very capable tool. I was way impressed with this thing. So if you're on the fence about it, again, Amazon's got a great return policy if that's the case. I was excited about this just as an impact wrench. I've got some friends with some shops, and they actually do racing, and we bring an air compressor out. They do the circle tracks. I'm like, I need to give this to them to try out how quickly they can take off lugs and do stuff with the convenience of not dragging a compressor behind you. I don't know exactly how many lugs it could take off, but I'm really, really excited about the tool. Now, let me show you the conversion here. So that was the battery pack. You can turn it into a jump starter this easy. So if you've got this in your car, you now have the ability to jump start your car. Now, it's not going to take a completely dead battery and turn it huge. Again, this thing weighs a few ounces. It's not like a charge pack for, super big. And then these are the adapters here for the actual terminals. It does have a boost mode, which should help it boost up a little bit if you're right on the edge. So I would say that it's going to, assist a weak battery to help start. To show you that real quick, I actually have one more video, and then we're going to do the drawing. And this is actually jump starting my lawn tractor. So now the second test of the V700 from Vitoman is not as an impact wrench, but rather as a jump starter. So my riding lawnmower never likes to start. The battery's getting weak and old, and we can actually change the head out on the Vitoman. Whether it's a lawn tractor like this or a car, you can actually jump start it with this. Let me show you how. There we go. Hopefully you guys can see all of that. That, again, was the lawn tractor starting up. That was from the Vitoman using it as a charging brick. Now, the jump starter, boost pack, whatever you want to call them. It also does, again, run your phone. If you've got an iPhone or something and you can get the adapter to USB-C, maybe you've got a good Android phone, you get 2 or 3 full charges for your cell phone out of this. And it can even run a laptop. So it's the USB-C power delivery 30 watt spec. And the cool thing about power delivery, it's bidirectional. You can take power out of this thing or you can put power into it. So it charges very simply. Just plug it in USB-C and then plug it into any wall outlet. I just happen to put those outlets all over my house. They're really cool. So I'm going to just show you here on the overhead. So now we're charging it. You can see it blinking there. So that's awesome. So we'll keep that thing charging. Did want to thank everybody for watching. That was the V700. Let's go take a quick look on it on Amazon. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. The way that you find all of my products, again, is you go to my Amazon shop. And if you haven't signed up for the giveaway, it's too late. So let's go to my Amazon shop because the giveaway drawings now. We're going here. We go down to number 18 on my Amazon shop. You can come over here for the Vitoman. Now, I saw a special. Yes, they still have it going on. It's 189 bucks, which sounds like a lot. And at that price, again, there's a lot of value here. You look at the price of tools in this yellow variety, and they are expensive. Cordless tools are even more expensive with batteries and whatnot. There's all the stuff that you're getting with it. There's a $70 off coupon with it right now. And if you buy some of their other items in here, so if you see the shop other items, capability. I'm trying to see what they have. Oh, it's not showing me the other items here. There's no qualifying items on that, but there was an additional discount you can get. It is part of the Tool Core series, like I said, so you can actually add different inflatable heads. If you want to buy the other heads, you can interchange the batteries with this. So really cool capabilities. I'm excited about the whole Tool Core series. I'd like to see some of these other products if they'll have me. I would love to test these things out for you, so that's awesome. Paul, let's see what we got here. Paul's giving us a message. We'll pull him up here on the screen so you can see it. I also she was jumping a car with lithium battery jumpers. Hope this will work for a car. Let's go take a look real quick at what the settings are on this. It does have, this is the one we were looking at. If we're looking on Amazon, it says it's going to do a certain amount of diesel. Yeah, there's different settings here. I don't see it right off for the bat as a jump starter. It says 1500 amps peak. Sorry, I got to clear you guys out of there. It says 1500 amps peak. I don't know exactly what that's going to relate to. Some of these are good for up to a 6-liter diesel. Again, if you have a weak battery, it may be able to start your car in a pinch, which is the goal of these. It's not going to recover a dead battery from dead. But again, really cool product, and it lived up to its name. So again, when a product that sounds too good to be true in some cases actually lives up to it, I'm excited. I will tell you that. And there was a lot of skeptics about this thing, and it actually pulled through. So I think the next step for me on this one is, one, I'm going to start carrying it with me in this really cool carry bag. But two, I want to give this to some of my racing buddies and see if they'll use it on their racing lugs, and how cool is that? But again, another cool cordless product that you can use with your car. I'm running a little bit late, but I promised you guys to do a drawing. So if you have signed up for the drawing, we're going to get that going right now. I'm logging into the website. This is for, let me pull the product out real quick while I get logged in, and I will get some of these other products out of the way. This is the drawing for the Tron D. There we go. Multiple outlet surge strip and extension cords. 5-foot surge strip and extension cord. 3 USBs. It's got a really convenient on-off right there to turn it on and off. Small enough that you can take this traveling with you if you want. But we're going to get that drawing going right now. And it's going to take me just a couple seconds to get the names out. We're going to export them. And good luck to everyone, Jennifer says. And John saying, hey, keep that away from the beard, buddy. Absolutely, my friend. I'm going to do that. I do not want that. I'm going to go into my signups here, and we're going to view submissions. See how many of you guys signed up for this. Oh, actually, quite a few people have signed up. That is awesome. Love it. We're going to export this list, download it, and we'll get going. American, you said, what's the sign up link? I'm going to put you in there. Don't worry. I'll take care of you, my friend. But yeah, the sign up closed a couple minutes ago, but I'm going to get your name in there. I would not leave you stranded. American, that's what you're going to be. American. See some familiar names here on the prize wheel. People have been getting smart about this, you know. These YouTube drawings, when you don't have a ton of followers yet, are a very good deal for those who do sign up. We've got the wheel going here. I'm just going to look at the settings and make sure I've got the sound up. We're going to spin for a total of 10 seconds. Apply settings. Full screen. Who's ready to do this with me? This is the drawing for the Tron D, sponsored by Tron D and the Net Guy. Surge strip. And here we go. Congratulations to everybody that entered. And big congratulations to... Oh, Matt Vargas. Are you going to win this one? Matt Vargas, you have won the Tron D. I will get that out to you right away. Thank you so much again for everybody that entered. And thank you to Tron D. Thank you to all of the other companies. Vito Man, you've made a really cool product here. I was excited about this one. The Daihome company, who's made this really convenient and useful camera with solar power. Yantu, which actually made the splitter, same kind of thing here, the splitter for your car. Just trying to make sure I didn't leave anybody out. I'm looking for that tire inflator that I just put down underneath everything. and Yantu with their tire inflator coming in to wrap it all up. And again, all cordless, really cool products from these companies. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to catch me each and every week, make sure you follow on Amazon. If you're watching me on YouTube, you'll get notifications as well. Thank you so much for all of the effort here, and I will catch you guys in the next one.